Paris, 2 a.m. One of the most famous women on the planet is bound, gagged, and locked inside a bathroom. Outside, 5 armed men are stuffing $10 million worth of jewelry into a bag. And somewhere in that terrifying silence, a woman who had spent 15 years building a brand on being seen realized that being seen had almost gotten her killed. So here's the question nobody asks. Was the robbery the worst thing that ever happened to Kim Kardashian, or was it the best? Stick with me, because by the end of this video, your answer might surprise you. Act 1, the beginning. Let's go back to 2006, because the story of Kim Kardashian doesn't start with a diamond ring or a Balenciaga runway. It starts with a phone call. A television producer named Ryan Seacrest had an idea. He wanted to put cameras inside the home of a wealthy Los Angeles family and just let them live. No eliminations, no prizes, just chaos, drama, and an insane amount of designer handbags. The family? The Kardashians. At the time, Kim was known for exactly 2 things: being the daughter of O.J. Simpson's defense attorney Robert Kardashian and being Paris Hilton's stylist. Not Paris Hilton, Paris Hilton's stylist. She wasn't the star. She was behind the star. But when Keeping Up with the Kardashians premiered in October 2007, everything changed overnight. And here's what people get wrong about that show. They say it was empty, shallow, meaningless reality TV. But I want you to think about something. Name one reality show from 2007 that's still relevant in 2024. I'll wait. There isn't one, except this. Why? Because Kim Kardashian understood something that television executives, fashion editors, and brand managers didn't fully grasp yet. Intimacy scales. When you invite cameras into your home, when people watch you cry over a broken relationship, laugh at your siblings, argue with your mother, they stop seeing you as a celebrity. They start seeing you as family. And you don't need to be convinced by family. You just trust them. That trust? Worth billions. Literally. Act 2, the luxury machine. By 2012, something remarkable was happening. Instagram had just launched. And while most celebrities were posting blurry pictures of their breakfast, Kim Kardashian was posting content that looked like a luxury magazine editorial. Private jets, diamond earrings, the Louvre in the background, her body draped in outfits that cost more than most people's cars. And the audience didn't scroll past. They stopped. Now here's a question for you. Comment below and tell me honestly. Did you ever feel like Kim Kardashian's life was something you wanted, even for a second? Because if you did, you weren't alone. And that feeling? That was the product. You see, traditional celebrities endorse products. They take a check from a perfume company, smile at a camera, and move on. The relationship is transactional. You know it's an ad. You feel it. Kim did something different. She didn't separate her luxury lifestyle from her brand. She made them the same thing. Every post was a window into a life that felt real but aspirational. Close enough to touch, far enough to covet. And the brands noticed, fast. At her peak, a single Instagram post from Kim Kardashian was worth over $500,000. One post. More than most people earn in a decade. But here's where the story gets darker. The more she posted, the more she became a walking inventory list. Every piece of jewelry tagged, every hotel checked in, every location broadcast to 100 million followers in real time. She was building an empire. She was also building a target. Act 3, Paris, October 3rd, 2016. Paris, France. Fashion Week. Kim had just posted a video of a ring, a 20-carat diamond worth over $4 million. The location? Her hotel. The time? Posted just hours before. At 2:30 in the morning, 5 men dressed as police officers forced their way into her private residence. They tied her hands with zip ties. They taped her mouth shut. They threw her in a bathtub. And then they cleaned out the safe. $10 million in jewelry. Gone in minutes. Kim later described thinking she was going to be killed, that they were going to assault her, that no one was coming. Imagine that for a moment. The most followed woman on the internet, completely unreachable, completely alone. No bodyguard in the room, no panic button, nothing. Now here's the uncomfortable question that nobody in the media wanted to ask directly. Had the obsession with luxury branding created the vulnerability that almost destroyed her? Critics said yes. Some were brutal about it. They said she had made herself a target by broadcasting her wealth with zero filters. That the same behavior that earned her $500,000 per post had handed criminals a roadmap. And honestly, Kim herself seemed to reckon with that. In the months that followed, she disappeared from social media almost entirely. When she came back, she was different, more guarded, less performative. She stopped live posting her location. She hired a larger security team. The jewelry? She scaled it back. But here's what nobody predicted. The silence made her more powerful. Because when the most visible person on the internet suddenly becomes invisible, the world leans in. Act 4, the pivot. This is the part of Kim Kardashian's story that I think gets completely buried under the tabloid headlines. After Paris, she didn't just recover. She rebuilt, and she rebuilt smarter, because Kim had spent a decade watching how celebrity money actually worked. And she had figured out something crucial. Endorsement is renting your face. Ownership is building an asset. When you endorse a product, you get paid once. The company keeps the profit. The company keeps the growth. You keep the check and nothing else. When you own the company, every unit sold, every valuation increase, every expansion that comes back to you. So in 2019, she launched Skims. Now I know what some of you are thinking. Another celebrity clothing line. And I get it. Those usually fail within 2 years and end up in a discount bin at TK Maxx. But Skims wasn't built on celebrity vanity. It was built on a gap in the market. Think about it, shapewear for decades had been beige, uncomfortable, and designed for one body type. Kim came in and said every body type, every skin tone, and every size. And she backed it with her own body image story, someone who had been criticized, mocked, and picked apart in the press for her figure. The authenticity wasn't manufactured. It was lived. Skims crossed $1 billion in revenue. Then it was valued at $4 billion. Then, the NBA made it their official partner, putting Skims on the bodies of the most elite athletes in the world. And she didn't stop there. SKKN by Kim. Luxury skincare. Products starting at $100 each. Positioned not as a celebrity cash grab, but as a serious, clinical skincare line. And then the move that tells you exactly where her head is at right now, SKKY Partners. A private equity firm. Co-founded in 22. Focused on consumer and luxury brands. Let me translate that for you. Kim Kardashian is no longer just a brand. She is now buying other brands. She has moved from the product to the investor. From the face on the poster to the person who owns the poster company. Act 5, the bigger picture. Here's what Kim Kardashian's story actually teaches us, and this is the part I want you to really think about. We live in an attention economy. Your phone, your social media, your time, these are the most valuable resources on the planet right now. And the people who understand how to capture attention and then convert it, they are the wealthiest people in a generation. Kim didn't invent Instagram. She didn't invent shapewear. She didn't invent private equity. What she invented, or at least perfected, was the system for turning public visibility into private wealth. And the Paris robbery? That almost broke the system. It exposed the danger of living entirely in public. But instead of destroying her, it forced an evolution. She learned the difference between being seen and being strategic. One more question for the comments, and I'm genuinely curious. Do you think Kim Kardashian is a genius businesswoman who played the long game, or did she get lucky and just surround herself with the right people? There's no wrong answer, but your answer says a lot about how you think success actually works. So, let's come back to that question from the beginning. Was the Paris robbery the worst thing that ever happened to her, or the best? I think the honest answer is both. It was genuinely traumatic, a violent crime that left real psychological scars. Let's not romanticize it. But it also broke a pattern of visibility without strategy, of broadcasting without thinking, of building a brand on luxury display without considering what that display was actually doing. After Paris, Kim Kardashian stopped trying to be the most seen person in the world and started trying to be the most valuable one. Net worth today? Somewhere between $1 and $2 billion, depending on whom you ask. Not bad for a woman who, in 2006, was carrying someone else's luggage. If you made it this far, drop A in the comments. I want to know who actually watches to the end. And if you want the full breakdown of how Skims went from a bedroom idea to a $4 billion company, that video is right here. See you there.